again?
83, number 2, 84, number 2, and 87, number 2.
Before everything's done, can you print out a sheet like this so I can, because I really want to get it. Like I have a glimpse of everything. Like I come in here and I basically know the basics. Yeah, no, I'm gonna come for sure. No more. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm on the very fine line of everything.
December 19th, we did.
Yeah, I already did 6 more weeks from now, including this one.
That's not long.
Yeah.
Okay, on page 83, number 2, what was your answer?
Remember,
Number 2, 183,
195,
195 and 54 hundredths is how I want you to read that number so that you understand what it's saying. 195 and 54 hundredths. Anybody not get that? Okay, any questions about that one? Okay, and the one next to it there?
31,156,000.
31 and the decimal point is where you read the and, because if it's written, sometimes it's written in words and you have to change it to numbers and you have to understand that where the and is, that's where your decimal point is. This is read 31 and 156 thousandths. So your number should be 3131.156. 31 and 156 thousand. I want you to get in practice of reading it that way, so then you don't have any problems changing decimals to fractions. Number 2 on page 84, the first one. 17 and 68 hundredths. Any questions about that? Makes sense. If you had $18 and you took 32 cents from it, you're gonna have $17.68 left, right? And then the next one next to it? 2 and 14 thousandths. Very good. Questions about those? And page 87, the first one?
480,000.
Nope. Hmm? What'd you get?
48,000.
48 thousandths. Should be .048.
Okay, I got one.
And then the next one next to it?
6.
Plain old 6.
6, yeah, I got that.
It's plain 6. Questions?
So where it's, instead of, it's, cause I had 4 spaces,
You should not have had 4 because that other 0 is 0.03. There's
yeah,
only
that's
two
what,
numbers.
yeah, I messed up, that's what I was, yeah. I was just
Yeah, 2 numbers past the decimal and 1 past. And you can have 0.048 if you want, but I'll tell you that on most things, unnecessary zeros won't be there. So if you come up with 0.4, and the answer is just plain 0.4, then you have to understand it's the same thing. Yes.
So is that what we're gonna work on tomorrow?
No, we're gonna do that right now. It doesn't take longer than 5 minutes to do it. Okay, if you'll turn to page. Tomorrow, you wish. Page. Page 89. No, they don't have it. I just said that. Oh, page 92, sorry, page 92. On page 92, I want to show you the different ways they might have that division for decimals. They're not going to ever have a problem, that box there for you like that. They're not going to ever have that box for you. Well, I won't say won't ever. That's absolute. Sometimes you may. For the most part on tests, they don't put division problems in that box unless they're whole numbers. You have to know how to put it there. So, and you have to know how to read it, and people always have a problem with which number goes in the box. You have to know how to read the problem. As I've said many, many times, math is still about words. Your mind is about words. You have to change the math into words, and sometimes the words into math. You have to understand the words. It's still the meaning of what's going on that you have to understand before you try to do a problem.
Exactly.
And that problem has to say to you 8.4 or 8 4/10 divided by. Now what number is divided by 0.2? Now if it's the 8.4 divided by, what number goes in the box? The number that's being divided up or the number that you're dividing into it? Just think of a regular division problem. What number goes into the box? If you have 5 people and $12, what numbers be, and I'm dividing $12, where would the $12 go?
Inside the box.
Inside the box, right?
Yes.
The number that's being divided goes inside the box.
So the first number goes
Yes.
inside the box.
So if you have to memorize the first number goes in the box, do that.
I did.
But it's better to understand if you read it as 8.4 divided by, then it's the 8.4 that's being divided.
Is that little slash right there, is that?
Now, we're gonna get there,
Divided.
okay? Then in number 2, you have to understand, as I said earlier, that that fraction line is a division line. This says 3.24 divided by 0.04. Again, the number that's being divided
4/10.
goes in the box.
The one being divided.
No, I'm gonna throw those at you.
The one of the slash is the one being divided?
Well, will you let us get to the slash?
The slash is divided too.
And the next one says, only because those numbers are big, and sometimes they'll write the slash in fractions, you know, sometimes they'll write it like this, sometimes they'll write it diagonally, says the same thing. 8.74 divided by 2.3. The number that's being divided goes inside the box.
I just had to clarify.
So do number 1, the first one, and number 3, the first one. And then I'll know if you know where to put it.
You said it was
What we're supposed to do?
number 1.
Number 1 on page 92, just the first one, and number 3, just the first one. Number 3. Remember, if there is a decimal, you have to move it.
I remember.
Get the movers to the right.
You gotta make it into a whole number, which means take it all the way to the end of the number and count how many times you move it. However many times you move it, you gotta move it in the inside the same number of times. Once you move it, stick it straight up in the answer.